Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin has almost hit the technical price targets for this inverse head and shoulders pattern, while the RSI is approaching overbought territories, just like the 4-hour Ethereum RSI, which is important to pay attention to, so definitely stick around. First of all, starting off on the 4-hour Bitcoin to US dollar chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is actually running into this range of resistance just here, coming into play in between around 16.7k going up towards around 16.9k. And of course, this is happening just after we saw a bit more bullish price action in the short term, due to the fact that we were seeing these price oscillators flipping more bullish over the last 1 to 2 days, as I've also been talking about over the last 1 to 2 days. But now that we've already seen some short-term bullish price action here over the last 1 day especially, this has pushed the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI closer towards overbought territories. And basically, if the RSI enters into overbought territories, that means we have somewhat limited room to the upside in the shorter term and increased downside risk. Just for some examples, looking at the last few times where we saw the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI enter into overbought territories, back here towards the beginning of December, we saw this happen just after a Bitcoin pump, and what came next was a bit of a short-term cool-off, where the price basically pulled back and then chopped around sideways over the next few days. We also saw this happen again a few days later, but this time around we saw a bit more of a pullback in the Bitcoin price after the RSI entered into overbought territories. And looking at the time after that, when the RSI entered into overbought territories close to the middle of December, that also happened just after a significant pump in the price of Bitcoin, and obviously what came next was a dump in the price of Bitcoin. And now obviously the RSI simply entering into overbought territories does not guarantee we're going to see a dump, or does not tell us the size of the next move, but what it does tell us is that technically speaking we have limited room to the upside and some increased downside risk. But once again, as of right now, the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI isn't yet entering into those overbought territories, but it is getting close, so it's something to pay attention to moving forward. But overall, here on the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, technically speaking, aside from the fact that the price is running into resistance, we're looking slightly more bullish than bearish, because for example, the RSI is still technically in an uptrend and isn't yet in overbought territories, and the 4-hour Bitcoin MACD is still showing bullish momentum. It's not a lot of bullish momentum, but obviously it's more bullish than bearish. And of course, we still have an active price target on the chart due to this inverse head and shoulders pattern, and the initial price target for this pattern is sitting at around 16.8k, but the full technical price target for this pattern is sitting closer towards 16.9k if you're measuring from the lowest point of the candle wick down here. And so far, the Bitcoin price has gotten very close to that initial price target at 16.8k. And so obviously, congrats to those of you who took this trade and basically entered a long position at this breakout, because so far any one of you who did that are sitting in profits. And as I always say, what I personally do with these type of trades is when the trade enters into a decent amount of profits, personally I move my stop loss into at least some profits, so that, let's just say in the worst case scenario, if the price doesn't even make it all the way to the price target and turns around sooner than expected, then even in that worst case scenario, if I have a stop loss sitting in profits, then that would automatically close the trade in profits if the Bitcoin price dumps back down like that, for example. But it is important to mention that that is not personal financial advice, because I don't know your personal financial situation, and that's just simply letting you know what I personally do with my own trades. But if you want to learn more about how to actually trade using stop losses, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more about that valuable information. But anyway, getting straight into the Ethereum part of this video, this right here is the 4-hour ETH to US dollar chart, and right now, as I'm recording this video, the price of ETH is running into this horizontal resistance, which is sitting at around 1220 to 1230. And obviously, this is happening just just after we saw a perfect bounce from this level of support sitting at around 1180 approximately. And now if you're simply looking at the price action itself, then we're still technically within this choppy sideways price range, so we're not really in a bullish or bearish trend, more of a neutral trend if you're looking at the price action alone. But of course, if you're looking at the 4-hour Ethereum price oscillators, these are looking more bullish than bearish. For example, the RSI is currently trending to the upside while the MACD is showing bullish momentum. But speaking about these price oscillators, the 4-hour Ethereum RSI is getting extremely close to overbought territories, which, like I said earlier in the video, overbought territories means that we have potentially limited room to the upside in the price and a slightly increased risk of some downside price action in the shorter term if we begin to enter further into overbought territories, which we are getting close. So the most bullish thing that the price could actually do here in the shorter term is if we broke above resistance and simply flipped that resistance into new support again and then consolidated sideways for a little while to help reset this RSI back down towards neutral levels, giving us some more room to the upside later on. That would essentially be the most bullish scenario here in the shorter term. But while the price of ETH is still below around 1230 and while the Bitcoin price is still below around 16.9k, we need to remain somewhat cautious in the shorter term because obviously we're still running into these important resistance levels where we have previously seen rejections. And in case you're wondering, these higher levels of resistance up here for both ETH and Bitcoin have not changed over the last few days. So if you're new to the channel and you want to know what these levels are, then simply check out my last few videos here on this channel. And now, as for this rising wedge pattern and bullish divergence, first of all, bullish divergences visible on the 4-hour time frame usually last for around 1 to 2 days on average before they potentially begin to fade away. So I wouldn't really be relying too much on this bullish divergence anymore. And as for this rising wedge pattern, we've basically gone back up to the point where we broke down initially from this pattern. And so at this point, we're pretty much at the invalidation point to invalidate this entire pattern because we fell slightly short of the technical price target. The technical price target was sitting at around 1170, but the price of ETH got down towards around 1176 approximately. So a few dollars short of the full technical price target. But once again, it's due to reasons like this as to why I always mention I personally move my stop loss into at least some profits once the trade enters well into profits. And so this is just a perfect example as to why I personally do that, because in case the price doesn't even hit the price target, I'm still coming away with profits from this trade. And now, if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto with trading using stop losses, then make sure to check out the video in the top left of your screen right now. And in case you're wondering, the video in the bottom left of your screen shows you how to make money in crypto if the price is chopping around sideways, but that video in the top left is a complete tutorial video showing you how to trade. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.